Kauravas, they refused. And they said that if you have power, you can fight and take it away from us. So Krishna also went as a peace messenger. He tried to pacify the Kauravas. And he once said that you give them little property. There are 5 brothers, just give them 5 villages. They will be satisfied with that. But the Kauravas, the chief of the Kauravas, Duryodhana, he did not agree for that. And he said, I will not give even an inch of land. And if they have strength, then they can take. So this has been the situation always in this world, that person who is powerful always rules. So then the battle was declared, and in those days they used to fight over the chariots, face to face. So Krishna was driving the chariot of Arjuna because he was friend of Arjuna. And Krishna said that he is not going to participate in this war. He has divided his army. He also had his own army because he was also a royal person. And he said that because both sides were related to him, they are cousin brothers, and both parties went to Krishna to take help. So Krishna said that on one side there is my army, on the other side I am there, but I will not fight. So Arjuna, he chose Krishna, and Duryodhana was happy to have the army. So this also signifies that intelligent people, they choose God, and less intelligent people, they think that happiness will come by taking God's creation and not the God. So then Arjuna said that you are not going to fight, but at least you can drive my chariot, because Krishna was also expert in that. And Arjuna was one of the greatest fighters of his time. But on the other side also, his teacher from whom he learned was there, his grandfather Bhishma was there, and they were very terrific fighters. So Arjuna said that I have to fight with all these people, therefore I will need an expert driver for my chariot. Because a lot also depends on the driver. The driver has to understand the situation, and sometimes he has to move. There are various ways to drive a chariot and control the horses. Make it fast, slow, left, right, up, down. Various techniques were there in the olden times. So then Krishna agreed. And then on the first day when they came to the field, then Arjuna said that you please put my chariot in between the both armies, and I want to see with whom I have to fight. So he saw that on both sides, basically they were his relatives, his own brothers, cousin brothers, his teacher, his uncles, nephews, everybody, maternal uncles. They were divided because they were cousin brothers, so everybody was related. So he thought that I have to fight with all these people, I don't want to do that. He became very sad, although he came very enthusiastically. But when he saw this, then he became very sad and he sat down. In fact, he was not able to hold his bow with which he has to fight. It dropped from his hand. He was not able to even stand up. He collapsed. And this is the first chapter of Bhagavad-gita. So this is as far as the plot is concerned, but this plot also explains something beyond physical. The Indian scriptures, they have a characteristic that they speak of philosophy in different ways. Sometimes they speak philosophy in a very direct manner. And sometimes the philosophy is explained in the form of a story and symbolically. There is a lot of symbolism in the Vedic scriptures. That means things are described as if it is a story, but there is a hidden meaning behind it. And there is a language which has to be known to understand that meaning. There is a particular field of Sanskrit which explains many of these processes, how to understand the hidden meaning behind the description. It's very cleverly done. And the deepest meaning are hidden in these very fantastic stories. Mahabharata is full of stories, so many stories that you cannot imagine. One story after another story, there are different levels of stories. One story is going on, then in that story another story comes, and then from that another story, another story. It's a very intricate plot. If you start reading it, you actually don't feel like putting it down. So nicely done. But these are not just stories or historical facts, but they also have spirituality, philosophy hidden in it. So sometimes the philosophy is spoken directly, and sometimes it's just in the form of symbols. So there is also symbolism in this very first chapter of Bhagavad-gita. And the symbolism is that our own body, it is compared to a chariot. And just as chariot has horses in it, we have senses. Because it is our senses which are driving us. We have legs on which we move, or we see something and then we go to that object. Even if we are sitting here, our mind goes there. So basically we are led by our senses. And we have two types of senses. The cognitive senses, by which we sense what is happening around us. We hear, we taste, we smell, we feel with our skin. So, and we also have motor senses by which we function, by walking our hands, legs, etc. So these are like the horses which carry our body from one place to another place, either physically or mentally. And then beyond we have the mind. And mind is above the senses. Because if you are trying to sense an object with your senses, and if your mind is not with that sense, then you cannot sense it. If you are listening to somebody and your mind goes elsewhere, as is the habit of the mind, it wanders, then when it is wandering and it starts thinking